Hello students, welcome back to English class. In today's class you are going to learn about a poem, The Sailor, written by Rabindranath Tagore. He was a famous poet, artist, writer, musician and whatnot. He was also the first Asian to win the Nobel Prize for Literature for his collection of poems, Geetanjali. And let's know more about this poem, The Sailor. Okay, so the boat of the boatman Madhu is moored at the wharf of Rajganj. It is uselessly laden with jute and has been lying there idle for ever so long. If he would only lend me his boat, I should man her with 100 oars and hoist sails 5 or 6 or 7. I should never steer her to stupid markets. I should sail the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. This is the first stanza of this poem. This poem, it has 3 stanzas and this is the first stanza, and what the boy he is saying, who was excited to sail on a boat and go through the 7 rivers and 7 seas and 13 rivers of fairyland, and what he wanted to be and what he wants to see. So the boat of the boatman Madhu is moored at the wharf of Rajganj. So what is that? The boat of the boatman Madhu. Whose boat it is? Boatman Madhu. What is it? It is tied at the wharf of Rajganj. So it is tied at the dock. Okay, tied at the dock or jetty. This is called jetty. So here it was tied. The boat was tied at the wharf of Rajganj, and it is uselessly laden with jute. So this boat, it was uselessly laden with jute. That means here laden means it was heavily loaded. It was heavily loaded with jute and has been laying there idle for ever so long. Idle means without any work. Uselessly, it was without any, having no work, it was kept there. It was tied to the jetty for ever so long. If he would only lend me his boat, I should man her with 100 oars and hoist sails 5 or 6 or 7. So what is it? If he would only lend me, if he would grant me to use it for a while and return it back, what he would do? He would man her with 100 oars. He would man her means he would operate her with 100 oars. These are oars like this, with 100 oars. With 100 oars he would operate that boat and hoist sails 5 or 6 or 7. See, these are sails. So he would rise up the sails. He would lift up the sails. How many? Some 5 or 6 or 7 sails. And what he would do? He should never steer her to stupid market. So he would never steer her means he would never drive her to, he would never take her, he would never direct her or drive her to the stupid markets. He's not going on a business purpose. I won't take that boat on the purpose of doing business. It's not for trade's purpose, but what he wants to do, I should sail the 7 seas and 13 rivers of fairyland. So what he would do, he would not take the boat to the stupid markets, but he would sail the 7 seas and 13 rivers. What are the 7 seas? The 7 seas are the Arctic Ocean and the North Atlantic, South Atlantic and the North Pacific, South Pacific, the Indian Ocean and the Southern Ocean. All these he would sail. He would sail the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. He wants to go to the fairy land where something wonderful things would be there. He wanted to go there. And but mother, you won't weep for me in a corner. Mother, you won't weep for me in a corner because I am not going into the forest like Ramchandra to come back only after 14 years. So I am not going like Ramchandra who went to the forest for 14 years, and I am going to a fairy land on an adventure, on a purpose of doing some adventure. I am not going like Ramchandra and come back after 14 years. So mother, don't cry for me sitting in a corner. I shall come back, I shall become the prince of the story and fill my boat with whatever I like. So I shall come back, I shall become the prince of the story. I will write my own story. I'll go to the fairyland and there I'll do some adventure, and then I'll become the prince of my story and fill my boat with whatever I like. So after doing the adventure, whatever I get, I'll fill my boat with that and I will come back. I shall take my friend Ashu with me. We shall sail merrily across the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. So, what? He won't go alone, it seems. He will take his friend Ashu with him, and we shall sail merrily across the 7 seas. So we shall sail merrily means happily. We shall sail happily across the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of the fairyland, and we shall set sail in the early morning light. So we shall set sail, we shall begin our voyage in the early morning light. Early in the morning we will start our voyage. And when at noontide you are bathing at the pond, we shall be in the land of a strange king. So when at noontide means in poetic language it is noon. Okay, so when at noontide we are bathing at the pond, when you are bathing at the pond, we shall be in the land of a strange king. So we will reach the land of a strange king, and there I will do some adventures, and then I will come back. We shall pass the fort of Tirupurani and leave behind us the desert of Tipantad. So we shall pass the ford of Tirupurani. Ford means here the shallow place of the river, the shallow place. There you don't need any boat to cross the ford. Only just by walking you can go. So we shall pass the ford of Tirupurani and leave behind us the desert of Tipantad. So we will leave the desert. We will leave behind us. We will cross the desert even, and we will go. We will also pass the ford of Tirupurani and also leave behind us the desert of, we will leave back as the desert of Tipantad. When we come back, it will be getting dark. By the time we come back, it will be getting dark, and I shall tell you of all that we have seen. So, and after coming back, it will be dark at night, and then I will tell you what all we have seen there and how happily we have enjoyed, and all the story I am going to tell you. I shall cross the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland. So I shall cross all the 13 rivers and 7 seas of the fairyland, do adventures, and come back at night and tell you the story of all my adventures. The boy, he was very much excited to cross the 7 seas and the 13 rivers of fairyland using the boat of boatsman Madhu, where it was tied to the jetty. The boat was idle and it was laden. It was heavily loaded with all the jute, and it was idle without nobody is using it, and without it is not at all working. the boat was left like that. So and on that boat I will ask him, lend the boat from him. If he lends the boat, if he that Madhu, if he lends me the boat, with the help of on that boat I am going to cross the 7 seas and 13 rivers and come back at night. And mother, don't cry for me because I am going on an adventure purpose. Okay, so you don't cry for me, and happily I'll go with my friend, he said. That is, he is the sailor, the boy is the sailor. He wants to become a sailor. I hope you have enjoyed this poem, students. Thank you for now.